y'all, it's Jessica from Sloppy Swatches. Today I have a look at the Bohemian Dreams collection that's available right now from Julie G. These are available on the website that I'll leave a direct link down below for, and also at your local Rite Aid. So these are a limited edition cream collection. They do have a beautiful wood grain cap. That's such a sweet detail. They were sent to me for review, and I'll go ahead and get right into it. So first up is Faith, and this is a bit of a dusty rose color, very wearable, super classy. I think this is going to be a great shade for year round, but especially for bringing those bright summer tones more subdued and into the fall. So I'll go ahead and show you a brush shot, and I'll show you how Faith swatched on my natural nail. So here's a look at that first coat. I don't have a ton of Julie G polishes in my collection, but I am extremely impressed with this one. This, with a little bit of a careful application and maybe a little bit of a thicker coat, is completely and easily opaque in just one coat. It wasn't too thick. I didn't have any pooling or staining with really any of these polishes in this collection. I'm going to go ahead and show you how it builds up with a second coat. I maybe had a tiny flash of nail line. If you have shorter nails, it's not going to be an issue at all. So 2 coats for sure brings this one completely opaque. It also does dry down a little bit darker than it applies, but seriously, most of these are 1 coat wonders. So I'll go ahead and show you a look at that completed mani. So that's 2 coats before top coat. So super glossy finish underneath my artificial lighting. And this is my swatch photo at an angle under that same lighting. So next up is Aria, and if you like a brighter pink, a more in-your-face pink, this is going to be a perfect polish for you. So this is a very bold, almost with a bit of orchid tone in there, pink. So again, super wearable, very fun. I'll go ahead and show you a look at that brush shot. You can also see the cap there with the wood grain, and I'll show you how Aria swatched on my natural nail. So here's a look at that first coat. Again, a nice, easy, thicker first coat. You can see I don't have any pooling or running here. They just go exactly where you put them. 1 coat brought this polish easily and perfectly opaque. I didn't have any issues with streaking or anything, or staining even. So I'll go ahead and show you a look at that completed mani at just 1 coat before a glossy top coat underneath the artificial lighting. So super glossy finish here, but a top coat is definitely going to help extend that wear time. So this is my swatch photo at an angle underneath my artificial lighting. Next up is Henna, and this is a beautiful, deep, rich milk chocolate brown. Again, this is a flat cream, no shimmers or anything running out, just a beautiful basic polish. So I think this is going to be great for nail art, maybe even stamping. I'll go ahead and show you a brush shot, and I'll show you how Henna swatched on my natural nail. So here's a look at that first coat. Again, I am going in with a little bit of a bead here, so it is a thicker first coat. This one was right on the edge. I can totally see this one being a 1-coater, but if you're more comfortable going in for 2, that's going to be really easy to do with these polishes as well. They do dry down nice and quickly, not so fast that you have to worry about applying them, but it definitely makes application much easier. So once I'd capped my tip there, I did make a little bit of a low spot, so I did go in and fix that. But here's a look at that completed mani at just 1 coat before a glossy top coat underneath artificial lighting. And here is my swatch photo once more at an angle. So next up is Eden, and this is a beautiful green in this collection. It is a little bit more chartreuse. These tend to be a little bit hard to wear, especially for people who have pink or red undertones, which I definitely do, but I found this one to be pretty flattering. I'll go ahead and show you a brush shot, and I'll show you how Eden swatched on my natural nail. So here's a look at that first coat. This one goes on nice and smooth, just like the others. It is just a little bit more streaky though, and maybe just a touch more on the thinner side. So I do recommend going in for thinner coats and then building it up in 2. 1 coat still made for pretty awesome coverage, just a little bit thin maybe and a little bit streaky. So I'll go ahead and let that dry and then show you how it builds up for me with a second coat. So here's a look at that second coat. I did go in a little bit thicker here with this second coat, but it definitely does pull this one completely opaque with no issues at all. This one also does dry down a little bit darker than it applies for a beautiful glossy finish. So here's a look at that completed mani at 2 coats before a glossy top coat underneath artificial lighting. You can see it's not pulling out my red tones at all in my skin, which I love. And then this is my swatch photo once more at an angle under that artificial lighting. So next up is Karma, and this is a beautiful sky blue cream with maybe a touch of robin's egg in there to deepen it up and bring it just a touch teal. Very beautiful, very gorgeous, especially if you don't have anything like this in your collection. I definitely do recommend this color. I was a little bit worried about it staining, but I did use my regular base coat and had no issues. So I'll go ahead and show you a brush shot, and then I'll show you how Karma swatched on my natural nail. So here's a look at that first coat. Again, I'm going in for my almost signature thicker first coat, and this pulls pulls this one completely opaque with no issues at all. Maybe a slight streaking, but it definitely did level out on its own like a boss. So I'll go ahead and complete this first coat, I'll let it dry, and then show you what it looks like in the completed mani. So here's a look at that completed mani at just one coat before a glossy top coat underneath artificial lighting. So again, a nice glossy finish. I do always recommend a glossy or even matte top coat if you prefer. So this is my swatch photo under that artificial lighting. And then lastly today I have Harmony. And Harmony is a beautiful light violet lavender with maybe a touch of pink in there. I almost put it towards the pinks while I was swatching, but I really like kind of keeping to the Roy G. Biv order, and I put the purple at the end. So here's a look at that brush shot, and I'll show you how Harmony swatched on my natural nail. So here's a look at that first coat. This formula reminds me more of Eden, so it is a little bit more on the thinner side and maybe a little bit streaky during application, but no issues at all. Really, it's still pretty awesome coverage in one coat for a cream. So I'll go ahead and let that dry and then show you how it built up for me in a second coat. So here's a look at that second and final coat. I know it's a little bit hard to see on camera, but these did level out pretty well to make those streaking really minimal. However, I am really comfortable with going in for a second coat for this color, and it does pull this one completely opaque. So here's a look at that completed mani at 2 coats before a glossy top coat underneath artificial lighting. This is really another color that I would wear all year round. This is my final swatch photo at an angle under that artificial lighting, and that wraps up the Bohemian Dreams collection. These are available right now. I'll link Jessie's Girl right down below. If you're interested in seeing more photos, I do have those available on my blog at sloppyswatches.com, or you can also follow me on Instagram at sloppyswatches. So thanks so much for watching, guys. See you next time.